Hi everyone, it's All Things Lymph, and I thought today we would talk about some research that confirms everything I've been saying about long haul COVID, that it is caused by the spike proteins getting stuck in our cardiovascular and our lymph system. And so I have the research for you today from another YouTube video that we can talk about here in just 1 minute. First, I wanted to make sure you knew the email address. I think last time I actually told you wrong on the email address. I had a capital A in there and a capital L for allthingslymph1@yahoo.com, but that is actually not correct, and I'm sorry about that. But the email address is allthingslymph1@yahoo.com, but it is all in lowercase letters. There are no capital letters in it, so it's just allthingslymph, all lowercase, 1@yahoo.com. So you can contact me there, or you can comment on the videos, however you want to do it. But if you want to say something a little more private, go ahead and email me. Not a problem. I will check that periodically and get back to you and answer any questions you might have if I can. So the other thing I wanted to also make sure I corrected from the last video, I did one on intermittent fasting and autophagy. Well, through the whole video, I kept saying autography. So just realize I was saying that wrong through the video. It's autophagy is how you pronounce it. So anyway, we're going to move on to the next topic, and I will get over here to this video. And this is kind of exciting stuff here, because pretty much everything I've been saying, it is true, and they found it in research by Dr. Bruce Patterson. This is Dr. Mobeen Saeed's YouTube channel. He's got a YouTube channel called, what is it called here? I think it's just Dr. Mobeen Saeed is the YouTube channel, or Dr. Bean. So if you want to find his, I will leave the link for this video in the description box so you guys can find it easily. But anyway, this particular video, he just put this out today, and it's called Spike Proteins in Immune Cells by Dr. Bruce Patterson, with him discussing COVID long haul, or long haulers COVID. So this is very interesting. It's an hour and 24 minutes long. I'm not going to really play anything of this because of the fact that I don't want to, do anything for copyright, anything against copyright for Dr. Bean. But Dr. Patterson, he has his own company out of California, but he's been researching clear back since May and June of 2020 about the long hauler COVID, but also about COVID itself and everything. So anyway, he presents the research that they found, and he just published his article in the Journal of Immunology. He is a virologist. He went to Stanford. He's part of the Frontline doctors too. There's they call themselves FLCC, and that is a not-for-profit organization that these whole group of Frontline doctors started. And here is their website, and I will also put the link for this in the description box. But he's part of these doctors too, but and I'll go over this here in a minute, but they actually have a protocol for long haul COVID patients to use to get rid of the long hauler COVID. But anyway, he presents here in this video his research on how the spiked protein from COVID virus is found in the non-classical monocytes, or the monocells of the monocyte cells that our immune system produces to fight the virus. So when it produces those cells, which normally only last in our body about 24 hours or maybe up to a week, well, in long haulers, he found through a bunch of testing and everything that all the long haulers, we still have the monocyte cells in our body because they have spiked proteins in them, and those spiked proteins are making those cells stick to our cardiovascular tissue inside of our body. So and it's the S1 or the spiked protein 1 that is in those cells and stuck to the cardiovascular system, causing irritation and inflammation. And our immune system continues to try to get it out of our body, because normally they would shut it out in a day, up to a week, maybe a couple weeks. But that's normally what happens. Well, in the long haulers, and all of us who are long haulers, that's not the case. And also with vaccine, people that are getting the vaccination shots for COVID, some of them are turning into long haulers. And so they're also having the same problem where that spike protein is sticking to the cardiovascular system. And Dr. Patterson has not looked into whether it's in our immune lymph system or in our lymph system organs like the liver and the spleen and everything. So my belief is that it is also in there, just because of what I experienced and what I've talked about in my other videos, how by doing my protocol, I was able to get a bunch of junk to spurt out of my spleen, and which then immediately drained everything on the left side that was being blocked in my lymph system on that side. So I think right there, that's proof. And I would venture to say if they looked into it, a lot of the long haulers, they need a complete detox of the liver and the spleen and the entire lymph system, because this protein is not just stuck on our cardiovascular system. It is also stuck in our lymph system as well. And we must get it out of both systems. We cannot keep that in our bodies, because we don't know what will happen over time, or, several years down the road with that protein being stuck in there. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure I got that information out. And he says, Dr. Patterson says that we basically, with us being long haulers, essentially when that protein sticks in there, it creates reservoirs in our body where the proteins, these S1 proteins, are settling in those monocytes that our immune system produces, and then it settles and sticks into different areas of our body. And he said they are triggered and moved around by exercise. So when we exercise or go out and work in the garden or go and do some kind of, any kind of movements or activities, we are moving those spiked proteins around when we're doing activity, because we're stimulating our cardiovascular system. So, and I do agree with that, because when my left arm and neck and shoulder and everything, when I woke up in pain like that, it was right after, like I said, I had started to feel a little bit better. So I thought, I'll start exercising, and did the exercise. And the next day, I woke up like that. So I believe it moved out of my brain area and upper, at the base of my skull. A lot of those proteins moved out of there, and they moved down into the neck, shoulder, and everything. It exacerbated it, irritated it. It got them going, and I ended up in the mess that I was in up until I figured out the protocol that I use today. So anyway, they have, he talks about in this video, which you guys are going to definitely want to watch. I know it's long, but I would watch the whole thing because it's really interesting. And at the end, he really, somebody has asked a question, the viewers that were watching it asked a question. They said, so they asked Dr. Patterson a question of, is this an immune system disease? And he said, for sure, it is definitely an immune system virus. So that is affecting the cardiovascular system, because it's invading our immune monocyte cells and sticking to the cardiovascular system as well. So we have both components, like I've been talking about, the cardiovascular system and the immune system. And he says it has to be treated at the core, or the cause, which is the immune system. That's why we have to get our immune system cleaned out. Detox, detox, detox. I cannot stress that enough. Once you get through the first 3 or 4 weeks of my protocol, and as you feel you can, start doing moving around, exercising, doing some activity. But you can also, this is the exciting part too, is that Dr. Patterson and Dr. Saeed, they're both part of the Frontline doctors. And let me show you the Frontline doctor website here. It's FLCC They have their website's called COVID-19criticalcare.com. That's COVID-19criticalcare.com. You can go to that website. They have the protocols on here. They have FLCC protocols for COVID-19. They have eye mask plus prevention and early outpatient protocol. They have eye mask prevention and at-home treatment mass distribution protocol. They have math plus hospital treatment protocol, and they have the Recover management protocol for long-haul COVID-19 syndrome. They have they also offer translations to anybody who's not speaking English. They have translations, I would imagine, in many, many different languages. I have not clicked on that yet, but the Recover management protocol is right here. I've got it up here for you. I will put all these links and the video link in the description box of this video. But you can see from this, you can print this off. You can print this sheet off. It's 3 sheets of paper. It's Frontline COVID-19 Critical Care Alliance Prevention and Treatment Protocols for COVID-19, all made by medical doctors. So if you want to go the medicine route, or if you want to couple the medicine route and my treatment plan, mine's, like I said, is natural, but you want to maybe ramp your recovery up, and you want to use the ivermectin. The ivermectin is the main medicine that they're using in this Recover, and then they couple it with these other medicines here, the fluvoxamine, the pulmonary evaluation, plus corticosteroid therapy. But the ivermectin, from my understanding, what it does is it surrounds the spike protein, the monocyte cells, and it gets rid of the spike proteins out of your body. So I guess it works pretty effectively and pretty quickly in the first couple weeks. And then if you have additional problems and things, they can look at the pulmonary part, the fluvoxamine. They give all of the dosages. So you can print this off. You can take this to your doctor. You can say, I want to follow this protocol. You know, I have long hauler COVID and I want to get rid of it. They also, the corticosteroid therapy is, if not all symptoms are resolved with the ivermectin, you go to this, you do this, and then it has a flow chart over here. Treatment of suspected mast cell activation. So if the doctor feels you have mast cell activation, or you feel that, you can really push your doctor to start on antihistamines type 1 and type 2. There's also rupatidine, 10 milligrams. Once daily, or ketotifen 1 milligram once daily at night, increases tolerance, may add sodium. You know, so they've got the sodium 200 milligrams 3 times daily, increase slowly. Or guess what, guys, quercetin, and I have quercetin in my treatment plan, 500 milligrams 3 times daily. That's what they're recommending. So they're doing 500 milligrams. That's 1,500 a day. I'm only doing the 500 milligrams a day, but they're doing 1,500. So that may be a consideration I might look at for myself. Is I've got to look into this mast cell activation a little bit more to see if I feel I'm in this, you know, having some of this problem. But if I am, I may ramp up my quercetin to 1,000 or 1,500 milligrams a day if I feel that I maybe had issues with this. I don't know that I have that problem or had that problem, but I'll have to look that up and see. There's a second line therapy is SSRIs, diazepam. There's naltrexone and montelukast, 10 milligrams. This may cause depression and stuff. So you can look through here. There's also, for use in all patients can take this macrophage monocyte repolarization therapy. Guess what, guys? This is what I have. The vitamin C, 500 milligrams twice daily. That's 1,000 milligrams a day. I'm taking 1,200 milligrams a day plus zinc. I only do about 28 milligrams of zinc. You can take up to 50 when I looked that up. After that, you might have flu-like symptoms, so you don't want to go over 50 milligrams on the zinc. But the vitamin C, 1,200 is also is easily doable. You can take a lot of vitamin C and it doesn't hurt you, but you want to look up, you know, what you think is best for you. Omega-3 fatty acids. This is something I am not taking, and I might. So these are the kinds, the Vascepa, I think if I'm saying it right, Lovaza, and DHA or EPA. So I'm going to look that up because I might do that. It's a natural thing, and I likely probably need that because I've been vegetarian for 6 years, and it's difficult to get enough omega-3s when you're vegetarian. However, I have added chicken back in because I'm doing the chicken bone broth as part of my treatment protocol, the natural treatment protocol, which you do get omega-3s through that, I believe. And the collagen that you need for your thymus, which is another organ of your lymph system. Go back and look at my other videos, and I talk about those different organs and what helps the various organs in the lymph system or in the immune system. So here's some other ones. Melatonin, Iremectin. So they're also using some statins to help repolarize our monocytes. So this might be the ones that they're thinking helps to get the spike protein monocytes, or the spike proteins that are in those monocyte cells that our immune system produced, to get them to let go of and stop being sticky and sticking on the vascular system. So basically, Dr. Patterson here, he said that that's what they're doing with this protocol, is they're getting those spikes to let go of the cardiovascular system, and that the cardiovascular system is basically, long haulers have, we have like an inflamed and infected cardiovascular system, like a vascularitis. So that's what this whole protocol that they've developed is going to help take care of. So, additional supplements, vitamin D3, 2,000 to 4,000. I'm taking 5,000 IU daily because I'm actually vitamin D deficiency. I was vitamin D deficient before I ever had COVID for probably about 4 years before. So I took vitamin D regularly anyway, and I do take vitamin D3. So that one I had already been taking. But as you can see, they've got some natural stuff in here, but the natural stuff that they've got listed here, it takes care of this monocyte repolarization. So it's going to help that immune system tremendously. And then, but anyway, take a look at this stuff, because this is really good information, and you could just do their protocol if you wanted. You could do a combination of this one and mine, which I think I might, like I said, add some of the stuff from here to mine. To what I'm doing in the daytime. But it gives us a lot more options. And the other thing I wanted to say about the ivermectin that I better make sure I tell you is, I looked at a bunch of people commenting on the ivermectin, where they got it from, because a lot of people said their doctors would not prescribe it to them. So they bought it from India. So look online, look in India. You can probably purchase this from them. And again, it gives you the milligram doses to take and everything. So you guys can look at this and help yourselves get better, feel better. There was one lady that commented, she took the ivermectin, and within 1 day, she was already feeling better. So that's not typical from what Dr. Patterson was saying. He said that's usually 1 to 2 weeks. But again, my mom and I had immediate results with my treatment protocol, and the results were within 3 to 4 days. Actually, 2. We started to feel a little something happening there, and starting with the lymph massage. So anyway, go ahead and get out there and get this. This is really good information. And then also, Dr. Patterson has his own website called covidlonghaulers.com. He's working with a few other doctors on all this research. And he, like I said, he owns his own company out in California. And then you can go on here, and they have some of the most COVID-19 long haul patients of anyone, because they're doing all this research on it. And like I said, he published his article in the Journal of Immunology on the spike protein being in the monocytes. So that's definitely something I'll probably try to go out and get, is find that article if I can get access to it. I will share that with you in my next video if I can find it. But you can go on his website, and you can see here, you can register for a lab test. They can test all your cytokines, which is what your immune system produces and everything. If you have really high levels of cytokine, which through that video, when you watch Dr. Patterson, he will show different charts of how every long hauler, when he tests them their cytokines and various other levels for their immune system, he says is through the roof. So, and the charts for every long hauler looks the same. When he tests everybody, it's all the same. We're all suffering from the same things, even though you may have symptoms that are different from one person to another. It doesn't matter. It's the same system being affected in different parts of our body, but our cardiovascular system is moving it around, and the lymph system's moving it somewhat around, or moving it around too. And so that's why the pains move from different parts of our body and everything. Just like I had explained before in other videos, he confirmed that in this video when he's being interviewed by Dr. Saeed. So, but I went on here and I did register for these lab tests. If you're a long hauler, you can go on and register. And I may go ahead and get a test on my immune system just to see what the levels are and see if I'm down to a normal level. I do still have, this last week at work, some people, well, it's actually been a couple weeks, some people at work were getting colds and stuff, and I think I kind of picked up maybe a little bit of that cold, but I'm taking so much supplements that support my immune system, other than my voice kind of sounding a little bit raspy or a little bit, sinusy maybe, but I don't even have to blow my nose, I don't have all the stuffiness or anything. It sounds a little bit like that. But, and I was a little bit fatigued from it, but other than that, I really didn't get too bad of symptoms from this cold. And, but I did notice that it made my lower back hurt a little bit. So, just the same way that when I was, in the worst part of the long haul COVID, that it's the same spots that it was hurting. So, I'm really working on that area, my lower back area and the sides of my abdomen and the abdomen area and the pelvis area, to make sure that I get all of the proteins out of there and get all that detoxed. So I'll kind of let you know how that's going. I've been doing that for about a week now, and it's a little bit slower going, I feel like, because it's just a larger area and there's so many more lymph nodes and auxiliary nodes in our abdominal area. So I'm hoping to kind of really get that the best that I can get it. But anyway, I did go on and register this. I'll tell you what happens with this. It's going to be a couple weeks before they contact me. They said that they've had a large volume of people trying to get these done. So, I'll let you know how that process goes and what actually happens with it and if I can get it done or not. So, anyway, just wanted to make sure you guys knew about that. And then they also have, once you do the tests and stuff, you can use an online doctor. They'll give you forms that you can submit to your own insurance company and have your insurance company cover it or see if they will. So, but they do telemedicine where they will get you in contact with a doctor through their group, to where if your levels are super, super high on these tests, then you can get in contact with a doctor and get the protocol for the long hauler program started that I just showed you on the FLCC website here. They'll use these medicines and get a protocol, recommend the medicines according to what your problems are as far as how your tests come out. So, but they do have all kinds of immunologists and virologists. They have all kinds of tests that they can just run those on your immune system, and then they can figure out how high your cytokines and other different markers that they look at for the levels. So they said, he said on this video that one of the patients that he had, a long hauler, had the normal range on this one test that he gave him for, I don't know if it was for the cytokines or what, for the immune system, but the normal range was 10,000. This long hauler's test came back, he was at 900,000 was his level. That's really, really high. So you can see why a lot of the long haulers, why we're so bad, why we have so much pain, why we have so many medical issues. So anyway, I will put all these in the description box. And like I said, please subscribe, like, and share. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, because that helps spread my videos. But also, I just want this information to get out to people. Not everybody knows to look on Dr. Mobeen Saeed's YouTube channel, which is right here in front of you. But him and Dr. Patterson and a bunch of other doctors are working on all that. Like I said, if you cannot take prescribed medicines, if there's medicines in this protocol from FLCC that you're scared to take because you have other things wrong with you, that the medications might interfere, like these SSRIs right here, the diazepam. Some people can't take this stuff. My daughter has seizures, and the SSRIs for her, they are contraindicated. So this would be a drug, that maybe she wouldn't be able to take. So a lot of people out here, there's some of this stuff you just can't take. And that's where my protocol really, really, I think is great, because if you're a person who cannot take some of this stuff, you can use mine and make up the difference, or combine both this and both mine and this one, or do one or the other, however you want to do it. But this, you guys, is a game changer for all of us long haulers, because we have a protocol here, and then I've got the one that I've been doing. So, and they're both working, both immediate success with mine, and from what Dr. Patterson is saying, the long haulers he's treated, immediate success with them in the first 2 weeks. So, and then they also go to a resolution state where he gets the immune system completely under control. So, and the goal is to eliminate those spike proteins out of the body. Now, they're not going to know. He says that they're not going to know for some time, because they have to have long-term studies to see if the protein's actually gone. They'll know if people have flare-ups after they do this protocol, then they have to re-implement these medications and do them again and see if they can't get it out. So anyway, good luck with everything, and I hope all of this stuff helps. And like I said, like, share, and subscribe, and hit the thumbs up button if you can, and spread this around, put it on Facebook, wherever you can, and have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.